Okay, hi everybody. Just give me a second here. I'm just getting everything set up on my computer. I normally plan these, and so my assistant, she helps me very much getting set up and getting everything ready. But I decided to do this too late. So forgive me, just give me a second here. Uh, Okay. All right. Great. I think I'm ready. So welcome. I'm Dr. Angel Storm. I'm the founder of Ashes to Beauty Ministries. I am assuming that most of you already know who I am. You're probably subscribers to this channel. And what I want to talk to you about tonight is are you really ready to change? And so this is something that I'm going to this is something that was put on my heart because this last week it's been a little bit challenging. Maybe some of you have started to notice that it's also been a challenging week. And when I'm dealing with my clients, I try to pay attention especially to patterns and things like that. And so if everybody is kind of experiencing the same thing, I assume that there's something else going on. So I wanted to just kind of talk to you um, about this right now. Are you really ready to make a change? You need to be really ready to make a change um, before you'll move forward in any area of life, right? We know this. And typically, what we use to measure whether or not you're willing to do that is if the pain of staying where you are outweighs the pain of either making a change or taking a step of faith, right? Like getting out into the unknown. Like you don't know what will happen if you take that step. And when the pain point is high enough, you'll typically take the leap, right? So, for example, if you can imagine with me now, like in a movie, if somebody's chasing another person and that person is chased down to um, like a cliff and their only way out now is to jump, but they're certainly going to get captured or killed or whatever by the person who's chasing them if they don't jump, right? And so the risks of jumping off of that cliff, although normally they probably would not choose that option, in this situation they just might, right? They may choose to take that leap. And that's exactly what I'm talking about with this question. Are you really ready to change? Is the place where you are and the pain of staying where you are, does it outweigh the risks that you might take in order to get out of that place and to not feel the pain of remaining the same any longer? And you while you're going through this, let's say that is step one, right? Like, so we might say, yes, I'm ready to do that. You along the way might need to change some things that seemingly have nothing to do with the main thing that you want changed. So the main thing, let's say, that you want changed is, this channel, it primarily deals with narcissistic abuse and recovery. And let's say that you're needing to recover from that type of experience, right? And that's the main thing that you want help with. You want help learning how to get reconnected to your identity. You want help trying to figure out what to do, what steps to take to move forward, all that kind of stuff. Great. Do you know that there's factors that you might have to change that seemingly don't have to do with that? If you are saying that this is the end goal, this is what I really want, be reconnected to my identity, moving forward in my purpose and all that kind of stuff. So, for example, and I've talked about this before, but literally things like eating healthier, choosing better daily activities, your routine, your habits, and that kind of stuff can have profound impact, even though it seems like, hey, I'm not hiring you to talk to me about that thing, or I don't, I'm not even interested in addressing those things. Like, just address this bigger thing over here. What happens is that, it's really a snowball effect. Get your eating in line. You're going to feel amazing. You're going to have more energy. You're going to be able to go to the gym. Before you know it, you're spending time in the gym, you're eating well, and you're thinking clearly. You're able to think better thoughts. You're able to feel different feelings. You're feeling higher feelings. You're able to make connections with people that you normally would have not have made connections with because you're at the gym, or you're getting more into healthier activities. These things will snowball, one onto the other, and you're going to recognize maybe even, hey, you know what, I'm not doing a good job of being very diligent in my finances. Here's another area where I could be more faithful, with what I'm doing with my money. And you start really analyzing these other things. Well, guess what? Those all have to do with your identity. And those all, like I said, just snowball. So during this process of, are you actually really ready to make a change? You need to really analyze and even grade yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. How ready am I to make a change in this area of my life? Hello, Lisa, how, really willing am I to make a change in my diet, in my health activities, in the circle of friends that I'm associating with? Whenever I'm meeting clients, whenever I'm connecting with clients, and I'm first learning about what it is that they're here for, what can I help them with, um, if I start to sense resistance in a certain area, like they don't really want to talk about that, they're not really interested in changing or sharing even any information in that area, almost certainly that's the area that needs to get changed, because you can tell the hardness of the heart is built up there, and that's the ground that really needs attention. Yes, you might be able to identify these other areas, like, hey, that thing needs to get changed, this needs to get changed. But if there's actual resistance to something, that's almost always the area that I'm sure needs to get dealt with first. And once that area starts getting looked at, starts, getting unearthed, if you will, the other areas are going to snowball with it. So I have a video out that I did a few weeks ago already, that's called like, don't hide your scars, or something like that. I really encourage you to go watch that video if you haven't already. And what my point of that whole thing was is saying, hey, your scars should serve you. The areas where you think that you don't want people to look are in fact the connecting points. So people want to be able to look at you and be able to see a testimony of some sort. Like, what have you been through that will resonate with me? What have you gone through that will give me hope and encouragement? That's a natural thing that all humans are looking to do. And so, your scars, they should serve you, but they can only do that if you're willing to have them looked at. If you're willing to allow somebody to kind of look at those things that were like your deepest wounds that gave you those very deep scars, can't serve you now if you don't allow that to happen. And I think, well, I run a prayer group at my church. Today was prayer. We meet in the afternoon, and just something that I felt like that I really was resonating with me during this time today was, it's just thanking God for connecting me to my dirt. You know that all of us have dirt that we need to grow in. We all have to have the certain atmosphere that's going to be right for us. And if you look at plants, like, they don't all grow in the same type of soil, right? Like, I can't plant cactuses that live in the desert in the same type of soil that evergreen trees grow in, for example. There's a specific atmosphere that you are meant to grow in, and that dirt is made up and comprised of a lot of different factors, and you need to know where your dirt is. You need to be able to say, like, these dead things died in this dirt that I'm going to grow in. These dreams that I feel like I've buried are actually the atmosphere, the environment that is going to cause this next dream that I have to flourish. You have to look at it that way. The other thing that I want to make sure to mention to you is that This all should serve a bigger purpose. So I'm kind of giving you like an overview here. I'm going to bring it back down to like, what do you do with this information at the end of this video? But while you're in this process of becoming, whoever you should be, you've come out of a horrific situation, you've come through an incredible amount of trauma, of abuse, you've sought healing for it, you're reconnecting with people, you're getting together a supportive community, people who understand what you've been through, people who can speak life into you once again, people who see you for than uh, the more than just the result of what life has made out of you, right? They truly appreciate you. They can see your talents and your gifts and all of that kind of stuff. Next thing is, how do you give that away? And you need to recognize that people don't come to you, they don't hire you, they're not going to seek out after you because you have a need. Okay, so this is the other thing that I see a lot with some of my clients. It's like, well, I need a job, I need to be able to work in this area, I need to be able to work these hours. Guess what? Your need is not the thing that's getting filled. They come to you because they have a need. You need to be able to meet people where they are. That's the next thing that has to happen. Hey there, thanks for joining. Guys, I'm not super great at doing the comments, and normally my assistant helps me, but like I said, she's not on tonight, so forgive me. Thank you for joining. But people come to you because they have a need. Your ability to recognize the needs in other people, even if that means sharing, like I said, again, your scars with them, even if it means revealing the things that you maybe right now are not super proud of, like you just wish that they would go away, that those types of things are going to be the reasons why people come to you. And you need to recognize that they have the need. You have to meet their need. They're not there to meet your need. You might need a job, you might need certain hours or whatever. There might be a need that you have, but people don't come to you because you have a need. People come to you because they have a need and they need somebody to fill that need. So really be looking at this again from the bigger picture, like not just like, we can get caught up in our own stuff. Like, I just want to be done with this, and then when it's done, then I'll be able to do X, Y, and Z and move on. But you're actually going through the thing that you're going through because that's going to be the answer to somebody else's situation. That's going to save somebody else some time. That's going to save somebody else a bad investment or whatever the situation is. You need to be looking at it from that point of view. And I try to be pretty transparent about like my own story and my own journey and how I got here and all of that kind of stuff. And the number one thing that I tell people is that I'm grateful that I was already a journaler. I've been journaling since I was a teenager, and without the journals, I wouldn't be able to give the courses and stuff that I have right now. If I wasn't a journaler, I wouldn't have all of that information, because when you're in the middle of going through something, it's very overwhelming. It's much more overwhelming than when you look back on it, right? And it's kind of like, oh yeah, I remember that was a tough time, but you don't remember the very granular details. And those details are the things that people are going to come to you for. So again, this is why I'm saying, really start paying attention and think about your situation, whatever it is that you're facing right now. Maybe you're with a narcissist, maybe you're getting out of that relationship, maybe you've been out of it for a while now, but things still haven't quite clicked or connected for you in life in general yet. Think about it from somebody else's perspective. Hey, how has what I've gone through, how could that serve somebody else? How can I use this skill set that I now have, that I was forced to go get by myself? How can that serve somebody else? That's the reason that people come to you. It's not because you have a need. It's not because you want to do X. It's because they need Y. So you have to be able to step outside of yourself, look at this from another perspective. And by the way, when you do this, it's a lot easier to kind of take that leap that I was talking about in the beginning. Is the pain point high enough for you to make a change? Usually when you can look at somebody else's perspective and look at your situation from their point of view, it's easier to kind of take that leap. Hi Craig, thanks for joining. So one other thing that I wanted to say about this is that it is in the future that your past is redeemed. Lots of people like to go back and replay the past. Oh, this happened to me and this happened to me, and all of these situations were unfair and I was the victim. Guys, you're that doesn't serve anybody, and it especially doesn't serve yourself. Your past is redeemed in your future. You need to keep moving forward if you want to see the past serve you. Like I've said, you want those scars to serve you. Guess how you do it? You go through. Like, that wound has already been done. That wound has already been done to you. So what becomes of that, whether that's the coup de grace to you and your life, if you will, or if that is going to be a scar, if that experience becomes a scar that connects you to somebody else and serves their purpose and serves your purpose, is up to you. And it definitely depends on, one, your perspective, and number two, if you're willing to take the steps that are necessary. If you keep doing the same things over and over, obviously you're going to keep getting the same things over and over. Then you get frustrated because you're like, well, I'm doing all of the things. I'm already doing all of those things. I don't want to do anything else because I'm doing all of these things. But it's like, an outside person might be able to tell you, like, yeah, but those things that you're doing aren't the necessary things. Think about it. We've all seen people who don't really know what they're doing, like in an area of life, and they're trying to do it, but somebody else is trying to give them advice, but they don't want to take advice. It's like, no, I watched a YouTube video or I read a book or whatever, and it's like, okay, well then keep doing it. But then they get angry because the product doesn't turn out, or whatever they were trying to do, it doesn't come out the way that they envisioned it, because they weren't willing to hear the outside advice. So again, don't let your memories outweigh your dreams. Your past is redeemed in your future. You need to keep moving. The final part of this, close to the final part that I want to mention, is that you need to appreciate all of your experiences. And so when you're truly ready to change, you're going to appreciate the season that you're in now, the season that you've came out of before that season, and the season that you're about to enter into equally. One isn't going to outweigh the other. It's going to be like, I appreciate this season and I'm ready to move into this season. If you're like, I hate this season, this is the worst, it's absolutely horrible, I got nothing out of it, it just took all of these things from me, you're not ready to move to the next season, okay? Because the next season is going to look a lot like the last season, because our seasons are primarily determined by our mindsets. If you haven't changed your mindset, and if you haven't adjusted your mindset in this season, the worst season, then you're going to enter into the next season, and no matter how good, how many opportunities, how many blessings are in that next season for you, you're not going to get them, because you will not see them. You will not be able to take them. It has to do with character development. And so I say this to you again, so that hopefully while you're watching this, you're doing a bunch of little micro adjustments, right? You're looking at yourself and you're like, oh my goodness, okay, I do that, or I've been saying that. And you do change right now. Just change right now. The next season is ready for you when you're ready. The next season is already prepared for you, but it depends on what you are doing with what you have been given. If you continue to look at everything that you've been given as like useless, as just there's nothing good to be had from them, then you're not going to be able to manage your next season. Again, no matter what kind of resources, what kind of connections and people and all that kind of stuff are in your next season waiting for you right now, they're not going to serve you unless you can appreciate all of your seasons in life equally. Okay? To start moving you into this, I'm going to start bringing this back into like individual ways to apply this now. One of the ways that you can start doing this is, and I mentioned this before in this channel, I know for sure, is start writing yourself a vision statement for your life and a mission statement for your life. And you can find some tutorials, very quick, like 2 or 3 minute videos on my Instagram. If you want to, the link for my Instagram is somewhere in the description of this video. But your vision statement is your what. So it's what you want out of life. It's what you hope to create with your life. And your mission statement is how you plan to do that. So how do you plan to build a business, make an amazing family, start a school, whatever your vision is for your life, like this is the overall thing. Your mission statement will tell you exactly how to get there. For me personally, I have a personal mission statement. Like I said, I have the template and everything. If you need help, like what should I put where, I have a template on my Instagram page and a little bit of little training that goes along with it that you can follow if you want. But for me, I have that somewhere where I see it every single morning, and I read it out loud to myself every single morning. And the purpose of that is because as I enter into the daytime, by the way, it's thunderstorming here, so if you hear some noise, that's probably thunder. But so whatever decisions I'm going to make during the day, I've already preemptively agreed in my heart that these are the things that I want them to, okay, how do you break the trauma, the thoughts? Okay, think different ones, but I'll answer that one in a second, but let me finish what I'm saying here. So when when you are reading over your life mission statement, you will make decisions that line up with that. So I've already decided, hey, this is what I want from my life. This is how I'm going to get there. Today, I'm going to choose choices that will get me closer to that vision. They will align with the mission statement. So if my mission is to, let's say, start a school, I want to start a school of some sort. That's going to require my time, my energy, my money. I'm going to need to be educated on how to do that, the processes of that. So it's going to influence every single aspect of my life, which was the thing that I was talking about at the beginning of this video, which is the reason why, if you are seeking outside help, which I think all of us need, we all need to do that. You need to be open to having other areas of your life changed. If you are in the recovery process and you're eating junk food and you're not going outside and you've got 0 steps every single day, you know, when you should have like 12, 13,000 steps in every day, and you don't have any of those things, and you're not willing to change those things because you just want somebody to quickly tell you about how to get reconnected with your identity and find your purpose and all of that kind of stuff, and you're not willing to let that part of your life also be touched or influenced or affected, you're doing it wrong. Okay, and in fact, that's the area, like I said at the beginning, that needs to get fixed the most. That one needs to get fixed first. So that's that. And then finally, my final thought on this topic is sometimes it's as easy as showing up. Sometimes you just need to keep showing up. You just need to keep learning. You need to keep having the heart posture of, I'm ready to receive, I'm ready to learn, I'm ready to make a change, I'm truly looking for ways that I can improve, and all of that kind of stuff. And I just want to say something right now. So I'm not sure how YouTube does it. I'm seeing the comments pull up. Comments like, it never happens. It never does that for me. Those are something called internal vows. And as long as you continue to keep repeating that over yourself, you're coming into agreement with those words, you never will see change. Okay, whoever just wrote that, you never will see change, because you're coming into agreement with your own, you've already decided the outcome. You've already decided it. Okay, so there's that. So stop doing that. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You guys are doing a great job of demonstrating exactly what I want to talk to you about. Are you really ready to change? And if you say, oh, I've already tried all of these things, I've already done all of those things, you're not actually ready for change, because I bet you didn't actually do all of the things. And real quick, one other quick example is that, so I have over 200 videos on this channel. I have over 200 videos on my YouTube channel, and by no means do I have like the most videos or whatever, but I'm just saying in a year and a half, I've made over 200 videos for this channel. I also run private mentorship groups, and I tell the people who are coming into these groups, hey, this is like a level 300 course, for example. Level 100, I expect you to be watching my videos because I'm not going to repeat myself in the class. Level 2 is that you've already done the coursework for the courses that I have on my website. You've already done all of that stuff. And this is where we're getting down to like the fundamental stuff, like the actual things that are like the final pieces, if you will, that are blocking you from truly moving on in your life. I'm not repeating it. I'm not going to do it again in the mentorship group. I'm not going to waste your time, and I'm not going to waste my time when there's free information out there that you can go watch. But it's not okay to just watch the information and not do anything with it. And that's what a lot of people do. You know, I've seen people say to me like, oh, I watched this video and it didn't work for me, and I will just ask like, well, did you do the things? I'm grateful that you watched the video, but did you actually do any of those things? Because you have to have action behind them. See, this is what I'm talking about, change. And like at the beginning of the video, when I'm talking about, you know, somebody's chasing you, you're running towards a cliff, and if you stay where you are, you're certainly going to be captured or killed or whatever by the guy who's chasing you. But if you jump over the cliff, there's a chance that something else could come. And it's that point of like taking that drastic of an action. Such a in a normal circumstance, you would never do these things, but yet you find yourself between a rock and a hard place, and you're having to make these types of decisions. And that's what I'm talking about. You have to be willing to make these radical choices, radical changes, including the way that you think, the people that you're hanging out with, your daily activities, so your routines and your habits. You have to be willing to have all areas of your life examined and really looked at, and saying like, okay, I'm willing to change any and all of these things. Like I said, all of that stuff adds up. It's a snowball. It will eventually affect the area that you are really wanting the change in, whether that's, you know, a new circle of friends or reconnecting to who you truly are, or whatever it is. It will eventually hit that area. But sometimes you have to start with the smaller things first. You have to be willing to like make a change in these other areas where it seems like that doesn't really have anything to do with what I want to have changed. So again, I normally do plan out my lives before I do them, to have my assistants help first of all, and then just to kind of give everybody a heads up about what I'm going to do. But and Lisa, I just like, we need to think about things that will serve you, the things that you can control. You can control your thoughts. So you thinking about the things that he's doing or he's getting away with is not serving you. And you also can't control it. So whatever he's doing, you can't control that. What you can change though is your mindset and the way that you look at it. And if it's that important to you that what he's doing gets, you know, is changed, and that he is not allowed to get away with that, then you can change what you are thinking about, and you can go into things like politics or law. You can actually start making changes in your community and things like that. But if you just are thinking like, oh, I'm just going to think about how much I hate that he's getting away with this, I'm going to think about his supply, you're doing that to yourself. It's not improving your situation at all, and you're actually doing exactly what he wants you to do, which is give him energy. You know, you're feeding into his cycle and into his energy, even if you are no contact. And I have videos where I talk about this too. Like, no contact doesn't just mean I'm not going to talk to him and I'm not going to see him. It means I'm not looking at his social media, and I'm also not letting my thoughts, I'm not giving him my energy and my thoughts and my emotions. I'm not doing that. I'm redirecting those things into something that I know will be positive, into something that will build something for me, into something that will serve me eventually. Like I said, have your past serve you, because it's in your future that your past is redeemed. And if you aren't willing to move forward, because right now, see, those thoughts are about the past. You have to move forward. You have to move forward in all areas of your life, including your thoughts. You have to move your thoughts forward, and that's where your past is redeemed. Your past is not going to be redeemed in the past, because it's the past. You can't go back and change it. What you can do is have your thoughts serve you by changing the outcome of the trajectory that you're on right now. So anyways, you guys, that's really all that I had. Thanks so much for tuning into this live. And even though it was last minute and I didn't put out an announcement and Sarah couldn't be here to help me tonight, I think it went okay. So no technical issues or anything like that. So again, I'm just grateful for you guys, for your time and your attention. I pray that you will take this information and do something different with it. If you want more information about one-on-one coaching, life coaching, health coaching, anything like that, it's all in the description of this video. You can go check out my other videos. You can go to my website. I've got a bunch of different books and courses and stuff like that. So, and I'm always available to connect with you. You can shoot me a message. My email address is in the description of this video as well. And that's it. So you guys have a good night and sweet dreams.